Hey everyone, it's me Arthur Kade welcoming a very talented young man and one we've seen grow up before our very eyes, the one and only Cody Simpson, who has a new album coming out in June, free. His first as an independent artist, so check it out. Hey everyone, it's me Arthur Kade and Cody Simpson. I feel like we have literally seen you grow up before our eyes. It's hard to believe because you started when you're 13, you're now 18, and congratulations, man. New album, you're an indie artist, you're changing your sound. I mean, so much happening.
Yeah, dude.
Congrats.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Yeah, man, I'm stoked on everything that's going on. Just now being able to focus on what really matters to me, and you know, especially being in 100%. You know, creative control, business control, everything. Just coming out now, having established my own label, Coast House Records, and that's that way being able to distribute my album through that, and for it to feel as though it's my first real record, you know, because it's come directly and only from myself, and it's just like not having to go through anyone else, and just being able to do it myself with you know, my one producer, just all out in like Malibu. It's just like such a cool, you know, organic process now, and I'm sharing a cool message. So yeah.
Talk to me about that change in direction, because you break into the scene, you're 13 years old. You become this teen icon, millions of fans, a lot of synth, electro sound. And now I'm listening to you and you have this kind of rock, folk, really cool sound. Talk to me about that change in direction and where you want your music to evolve to.
Yeah, I mean, like the weird thing about my childhood experience in the music industry was like the albums, like I had 2 albums and it was this weird like mixture of like some of the songs were like, you know, ones that I'd written with all these like people that wanted a certain thing, and then like some of the songs were like even similar to what I'm doing now. It's like, so it was just this weird thing, and the ones obviously that they pushed as like singles were the other ones, you know, and you know, that having learnt a lot, you know, it's such an experimental period of your life, you know, that like sort of 13 or like 18, you learn so much about yourself, you change a lot, like, and fortunately and unfortunately I had to do that in front of a lot of people. Unfortunately, never having had like an actual like hit record or whatever as a youngster, it was like now it's just refreshing to be able to like reverse all that, and you know, you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about the world, you know, sort of growing up being a sponge and like traveling all the time and seeing a lot of places, and you know, you gain this certain knowledge that, you know, gave me the courage to say thank you, but I have to go now, you know, and stay true to myself, and you know, usually you just end up coming back around to like your roots and like where you started, and that's, you know, that's sort of what happened to me. So
when you break out at 13 years old, what is that like at such a young age? I'm 36 years old, and I can't even begin to imagine my mindset at 13 years old, even 18 years old. Yeah. It's crazy.
You're impressionable, so naive, and it's like you coming like New York City, being a small town kid back home just in Australia, like I hadn't seen anything else. Like I'd barely been on an airplane at all, and just like coming over here and meeting with all these people, and they're like, do this and that, we want you to do this, and I'm like, okay, like they'll just go along for the ride for a while, and then you end up sort of getting a little wiser, you know, and realizing, and then being like, this is not where I started, this is not what I want to be doing, and then you end up just having to kind of come back around, and I get a nice fresh start now, and you know, the album's coming out in June. It's called Free, you know, it's a, you know, symbolic for the stage of my life that I'm in now, everything that's happening, symbolic for, you know, the independence and the freedom that I now have and received, and the way that I like to do things and run my businesses, and you know, my artistry is just very natural and organically, and that's the way it's happening now, and I'm so happy. Like I didn't realize how frustrated I was before, just feeling so contained, and now it's like I just feel like it all came, I felt like a different person than what people knew I was, and now it's just like coming back together again. You know what I mean?
When you look at that evolution for yourself, was it something that was brewing for a while?
Yeah, without a doubt. And then there's like sort of certain like tipping points where it's like, okay, that's enough type thing. It bubbles inside of you a little bit, and obviously it has to build up to a certain point for you to like actually make the jump. You know what I mean? Because it can't be like a subtle feeling. It has to be a serious thing, and serious enough for me to want to do it this way. So yeah.
When you start looking at your music, how does the inspiration, where's your music coming from? I've talked to so many different artists where some people use life experiences, some people hear a tune on the street. Where does your music come from?
Well, if we're talking about the very present moment, working and Nelly being in the final stages of closing out this album, this June summer release, it's coming from a very, very real place, in the sense where now I have the opportunity and the ability to talk about whatever I want. You know what I mean? As opposed to what other people would like me to talk about. So I now get to talk about life. I get to talk about real matters and issues, and be able to share a message that actually has substance to it, and is in line with my beliefs and what I want to share with my audience, and what I want to share with people that will now tune in, because a lot of people, this is going to be the first time a lot of people really hear
the crowd.
Yeah, hear me, and a lot of new people, and I want to keep it that way. But it's like sharing a really great and a positive message, and writing music that means something, and sort of makes you feel a certain way, makes you want to do certain things. This album was all tracked live with the band in a room all together. And so there's little mess ups, there's little, whatever, and come back and like clean up the vocals and stuff after, like do retakes and whatever. But a lot of it was done like that, very naturally, and approached with definitely a little more of a rock and roll sensibility, as just to like the recording process and stuff like that. Because a lot of the music is very much acoustic rock, you know what I mean, with the tinges of like reggae and your little toes in the sand, feel good, splashes on there, but that's the basis, and it's great, man. A lot of the stuff, the message is positive. I have a song called Living Easy that sort of sharing with people like that you don't need a lot to be happy. I think in a modern day world, a lot of people sort of get caught up, especially on the social networking stuff, and like comparing themselves to other people, getting caught up in materialism and all that stuff. And it's like, obviously it's nice to, to reach a certain amount of like financial success and stuff, but that's never really gonna bring you actual happiness. You know what I mean? Money is just numbers. It's never ending. It's like, just it keeps going. Therefore you're never gonna reach like an end point. You know what I mean? So like...
You'd mentioned the term social media, and just looking at the fan base that you've built. I mean, you have 8 million on Twitter and Facebook each. Yeah. To see how much people have taken to you, and I see you're very active on your social media.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the fan base and really creating and cultivating that relationship with them.
Yeah. It's important. It's just the way it has to be now. And having, fortunately, quite a large reach on social networking, on your Instagrams and Snapchats and Twitters and stuff. It's like that's my outlet to share what I want to share with them, and to share, okay, this is what I'm doing, join the movement, support the movement, because I'm going to share something positive with you, hopefully. Obviously, there's negative and positives. A lot of people catch on to the anonymous, side of things, and want to just say mean stuff because no one knows who it is saying it, and like takes away that sort of like normal, human interaction of like you can just basically say whatever you want and get away with it. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. I just want to kind of hopefully just make people a little more positive and less judgmental and stuff online, because I can never imagine like saying anything mean to anyone online, you know what I mean, at all. And then you get people doing that on my page or my friends' pages, like stuff like that, and I just want to share a positive message through the outlets.
I want your life, man. You're on a plane to DC. You've got a European tour. You're going to be playing Bowery here in New York on Monday. It's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's a you know, it's a whirlwind type thing, and you sort of got to stay relaxed through it all and just like ride with it. You know, just ride the wave the whole way through, and it's good fun. Like it's non-stop, but it's just, you know, it keeps you on your toes, which is good.
Growing up in the public eye, what's that been like? Has it been enjoyable? Has it been overwhelming?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to keep a certain, you know, you share what you want to, and, you know, you can keep other stuff, you know, like private. Obviously, you know, I've had to grow up, you know, a certain amount, you know, in front of an audience, and, you know, on stage, and all sorts of that kind of stuff. And definitely, you know, it isn't your typical childhood that I've had. You know, I didn't go to high school. You know, I did that sort of everywhere. It was exciting, and it was, you know, there's negatives and positives to it, obviously, but I wouldn't change a thing for the world. You know, now being in a position that I'm in now, and having had all the experiences that I've had up to this day, and knowing, you know, that I there's much more waiting, and there's much more that I'm making happen, is really awesome. So yeah.
Do you look at your career and start thinking, here's where I want to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line?
You have a certain idea, you know, like you set certain goals in place. There's a lot that you can't necessarily plan for. You know what I mean? You never really know where life's going to take you, and you never know what, you know, the universe has in store for you, but you just got to kind of go through it and you know, dictate what you can, and just sort of enjoy it. You know, I try to just make the most of every moment and be present. I'm learning more to be just more conscious and like here, you know, at this time. So, you know, I think it's important to do that. So
I saw the artwork for your new single, Miley Cyrus. Who knew she was an artist? She drew that. How crazy is that?
Yeah, she took a photo and edited it all, and she's a cool girl. I love her mind, and she just doesn't care what people think, and she's
a trailblazer, man.
She's a trailblazer, and she has such an open mind, and she's really cool, you know, to go with all that. And fortunately, had her as a friend for a little while now. Sort of we became close sort of right around the time I started doing all of this independent stuff, and she just sort of took notice, and we became friends, and she wanted to help out in any way, and she does a lot of good for the world. You know, she has a great foundation. It's called Happy Hippie Foundation, and I actually wrote a song called Happy Little Hippie coincidentally, and I'm going to be sort of supporting her foundation for homeless youth, and she stands for a lot of great things, and wanted to be part of the project, and designed a cover for Flower, one of the two songs, alongside New Problems, the other one, that's out right now off of the record. So yeah, she's a cool chick. Yeah.
Good for you, man. Speaking of standing for good things, it's great because people don't realize how hard it is at your age and during this period of growth to do.
Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot of it's tough, and there's a lot of, you know, you see a lot of people just sort of
self-destruct,
you know, just implode, and you know, a lot of artists with big fan bases, or, you know, just like large reaches that just like share the wrong thing, you know what I mean? And like, it's like you have this, like they're sharing like just the wrong messages, just, you know, things that don't necessarily matter, and things that, you know, just kind of making young people think a certain way that isn't, you know, like that you need this Ferrari, or you need this, like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's all bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, so it's nice to, you know, and knowing someone like Miley and stuff, where it's like sharing something good, it's like, it's cool to see. So.
Do you think about that? Do you look at yourself as an artist even at a young age and say, I'm a role model and I want to be responsible in communicating a good message to children?
You got to be a role model, but you also have to be like real. Like, you can't, that's why I don't like, I just share like who I am and in every aspect. Like, you know, it's like, I like to share something positive, but I also like to party with my friends and have fun and you know, be 18 as well, and people know that, and that just comes hand in hand, and it's all just like a part of who I am. So I just you know, you can't really hide anything. You just have to like be real, and then people you know, they respect that. So yeah.
To be your age again.